Fit10 Nation is day number 5 of the Fit10 challenge, and you got your macros yesterday. And I will admit to you, I had to do a bit of self-talking before shooting this video because, well, this is the 10th challenge I've been running. But inevitably, every time I run a challenge and I hand out the macros, a good chunk of you come back to me and say, I think you gave me too much food. Okay, and I already told you guys this if you were there for the info session or you were there for the meeting last week, which most of you were, I told you you're gonna think it's too much food, okay? But the reality is that on average, you are having more calories than I gave you, okay? The only reason you happen to think it's too much is because now you're taking notice on a daily basis. Listen, if I was giving you too much calories, this program would not be alive anymore, okay? We wouldn't be getting the success that we are, okay? Now, I'm gonna explain to you, okay, well, it's a long explanation, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna give you the nuts and bolts of an explanation that I will break down for you in future videos as to why you get the calories that you do. Because listen, you could just have less, couldn't you? Sure, why not? Why not? Why can't you just have less calories? Would you lose more body fat if I gave you less calories? What do you think? Yes, you would, okay? But that is in the short term. We want to think long term. I want you to think long term, no short term. This is lifestyle based. This is ongoing, okay? This is not, I don't do diets. I don't do diets. I never have. Well, I guess I did back in the beginning when I didn't know so well. But we don't do diets anymore, okay? Not my world. It's about sustainability and trying to get you guys to understand that you can eat all kinds of foods and you could have a moderate level of calories, which is what you got, a moderate level of calories, and you can still lose body fat and feel great and go about life, in a, at least, pretty normal feeling fashion, okay? And at least in relation to how you normally live. Okay. Now you may not think that's the case because you're weighing out food and you're putting it in this app, but over time, obviously, you won't really have to do that. Okay. But for the sake of this challenge, as I mentioned before, you will, because we have 70 days and we want to see some very, we want to see results, right? Okay. So we're a little more aggressive. Okay. So with all being said, a calorie is not just a calorie, and I won't get into that now, but, in a nutshell, the way, a protein calorie affects you hormonally, metabolically speaking, neurotransmitter-wise in the brain is different than the way a carbohydrate will affect you, okay? So not all calories are the same, all right? So just simply just increasing your protein intake and decreasing your carb intake, because I can guarantee you that's what's happened with your diet right now, will have a big effect, okay? That alone, even if your calories were the same, even if I bridged you over and your calories were exactly what you were following before, but of course, we changed the types of calories. I'm not talking the types of foods, I'm just talking about the types of calories. You would see a difference in terms of your body composition, all right? So long as you follow it for, a number of weeks, okay? So let's talk about, in a nutshell, why I give you a moderate level of calories and not a low level of calories. All right. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you're burning 2,000 calories per day. Okay. Now, when I say burning, this has to do with your basal metabolic rate, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so just moving around, doing your daily tasks, breathing, looking around, fighting with somebody, whatever. Okay. Your exercise activity, and then the thermic effect of food, the amount of energy it takes to digest food. Those 4 things make up the amount of energy that you burn in a day, okay? Let's say it's 2,000 calories, okay? And let's say I give you 1,500 calories for the day, all right? Then we have a deficit of 500 calories. We have a deficit of 500 calories. Now, your body is gonna want to, do you see that little gap between 1,500 and 2,000? Your body's gonna wanna bridge that gap together, okay? Essentially as fast as it can, because it wants to survive. Now, part of the way it will do that is it will chew through tissue in the body. Muscle tissue, fat tissue, bone, whatever. It's going to chew through stuff. It needs energy, so it's going to break down stuff, okay, in the body. To get energy, it needs it to sustain, because it's got to fulfill that quota, right? So the best thing you can do, because you don't want to bridge that gap, right? Because when you bridge that gap, then you're not going to burn fat anymore. The best thing you can do is to not make such a deficit, okay? Because the body is smart. It will slow down certain metabolic processes, okay? So part of your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, has to do with these processes that just run in the body and utilize energy. Your body is smart. It can become more energy efficient with some of those processes, okay? So we want your BMR to be running as inefficiently as possible. That is, we want your BMR to burn as much energy as possible, okay? This is not my opinion. This is just reality. This is the, when people make large deficits in their energy intake, this is the root of yo-yo dieting, okay? And I'll get into that in a later video, okay? All right, so we don't want to do that. We want to create a small deficit, okay? We want to start with moderate calories, okay? And ideally create a small deficit so that we can get the most out of the most. We want to eat as much food as possible and lose body fat. We don't want to be in the spot where we have very low energy and then we plateau. We can't burn any more body fat, let's say, okay? Because eventually that will happen. And then what are you going to do? Where do you go from there? Well, I guess we have to remove more food from not very much food. No, we do not want to be in that position. We have to think long-term. We have to think sustainability, okay? I don't know why you guys don't want to eat more food. You want to eat less food? Seriously. It makes no sense to me, okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's get to the message of the day. You don't have to be extreme to achieve results. You do not have to be extreme to achieve results. You just have to be what? You've already heard me say this if you were in the info session, or you should have been in the meeting on the weekend. But if you weren't, what do you have to be? You just have to be reasonable and consistent. That's all you have to be. Reasonable and consistent. That's what it's about. It's not about doing something. It's not about doing. I'm going to try not to yell. It's not about doing something extreme for a short period of time. That doesn't work. You are a reflection, as your manual tells you. You are a reflection of your recent past, okay? When it comes to body composition. That's what you are. So if you revert back to where you were, you're just going to end up exactly where you are, and possibly worse, okay? You'll end up worse if you do if you go super low deficit, if you do a super high deficit in your energy intake for a while, and then you revert back to where you are, you're going to be worse off. Because now you're gonna do what we call body overshoot, okay? You basically have to reverse diet. Anyways, I'm not gonna go into details into it. That's for a future video. Just trust me, okay? Listen to your coach, submit, commit, and do what you have to do. I'm gonna end the video here because it's past 8 minutes. For the love of God, positive energy, positive vibes. Give some gratitude. Daily, you should give gratitude, okay? And for, the love of your own well-being, believe in yourself, okay? Believe in yourself for the love of God. For your happiness, for your well-being, for your future, okay? I will talk to you all soon. How many clicks is it going to take? How many do you think? Okay, it's on. I'll talk to you guys all very soon tonight, right? 7 p.m. We're going to be doing lower body, introduction to lower body. There'll be a lot of you. Hopefully we'll have some fun, and we will get that much more in shape. You will be more in shape by the end of tonight's workout than you are right now. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Try to get your numbers within 10%. See ya.